Hey guys, Kevin here from sunny Gold Coast. Got a little project today that I want to get done. It's installing a new pool pump. Got this Pro 150 from Poolset. It arrived the other day, and we're gonna give it a go. Let's get started, why don't we? Let's open her up and see what we got. Some fittings. And the pump. Get this out the way. And a how-to book. Alright, so apparently we've got two different types of fittings. We got the 40mm and what looks to be the 50mm pipes. We have 50mm in our pool room, so we're going to chuck those out, put them in the box. We'll keep the 50s. This is the pump. It's a nice big girl. Comes with a basket. The tools we're going to need, I'm just going to do it very simple today. We got a hacksaw, anything that's on your current hacksaw will do fine. Bit of sandpaper just to scrub the edges that you've cut. We don't want burrs and stuff where things can get caught on, such as hairs and fine particles. We're going to need some glue. This is pressurized glue. It's rated for pressure cement, PVC, not the other one. So make sure you get the pressurized one, because you're dealing with a bit of pressure on the other end of the pump. A few little bits and bobs that we've got from the hardware store. Probably not going to use them all. We've got union fittings, and then we've got the normal elbows and joins. So you'll probably need these joins more than I will. I don't think I'm going to use them. Tape measure, measuring obviously, and a pen and a marker. The pump obviously has a suction line which is on the front. You'll get a little guide, and inside it explains it all for you. Obviously the pressure that it puts out, the amount of litres it does per hour and all that. It explains your suction line and your pressure line, so that's what comes out after the pumps push the water. Alright, let's go have a look and see what we're going to do. Alright, in the pump room, start off with obviously the necessities: turn everything off. Also set your pump to closed if you've got the option. The pump in the closed position will prevent any water running back out while we're cutting the pipes and things. The pump has a timer on it. This one does. We turn that off at the wall. We then also remove the pump out of the chlorinator, which is sitting at the back. Alright, everything is off. Sand pump is set to closed. We're ready to start. Here's the job that we got to do down here. We have the old pump. It's coming out for the new one. 50mm inlet line and a 50mm outlet from the pump to the sand filter. We're going to chop the 50mm outlet around there and insert a union. We should just put them in so that we can always change it out without having to replace all these extra pipes or change fittings and cut again. So I'm doing it once. Hopefully these are going to save me years to come, where we can easily put a temporary pump in if we have to service the other one, or change the pump out again. We'll just fit one of these in there and one up in there. These unions, they come apart pretty easily. They got a nice washer O-ring there for pressurized lines, so we're going to use these instead of the other flimsy ones. Yeah, 105mm long. So we've got plenty of room in here. It's 140 on the pipe we're going to add this into. We'll go 70, maybe a little bit less. Give some room on the collar. We need to cut out the section inside that union, which is roughly 20mm. So that's where we're going to cut, on that line and on that line, and this is going to go away. We can do the same. We'll put it 20 mil. 20 mil cut out there. Just got a basic hacksaw. I'm not going to use anything special. This line here is going to be full of water. So to get the water out, we'll add air, obviously. We'll open the top of this pump, which should drain all the water back into the pool. All the water's out. We can chop this now without getting wet. So we'll just go on the lines we marked. Try and get it as straight as possible. The next one we can cut off on the bench since we've given it off there, so we just pull the piece off the pump. Yep, great. And the other one the same, we can take to the bench and chop it because it's not that much to undo these two instead of trying to cut it here. Alright, so we've got this pipe out. You'll get a little bit of water obviously from the inside the pump there, but nothing much. Alright, let's go to the table and cut her up. Got our cutting to do, so we'll just get straight into it. We've got these two cuts to do on the in and outlets of the pump. We've got a little jig. You don't need this if you've got a table. You can sort of hold your pieces on. I might not actually need it for this little one because it's so short. As best as you can, again, get it as straight. Alright. And these are the burrs that I was talking about. Once you cut it, you'll see the pipe has pieces on it that you need to sort of sand off. Use whatever you sort of have laying around or buy something. Just like that, it's nice and smooth. It'll go in the union nicely. And that's it. On to the next one. We'll use the jig with this one so we've got something extra to hold on to. It. Again, sanding the edges. Great cut, that one. Okay, that's our two cuts. These pieces, obviously, we're not gonna need right now, so we'll put them aside. The other ones we will. So now to get the pump ready for the new pipes, we'll just slide this over. So using their supplied fittings that they gave us, you've got one that goes on the suction line. Put that nice and snug. The other one for the outlet for the pressure line. And using your size that you need, so either the 40 or the 50 mil. Now what we're going to do is put this new pump in, take the other one out, just see the levels that we've got, whether we have to drop the pump, raise the pump, move the pump in or out. That way we can get the best fit before we start measuring and cutting the lines for this pump. Okay, in to get the pump out. It's a tight squeeze, so we're going to have to lift it up and over. We get wet a bit, but the pump's already been unplugged as from the beginning of the video, so let's get it out. There it is. The new pump, we're going to try and squeeze it in. Hopefully it's going to fit. We've got some bricks on the floor from the old one. I'm hoping it's going to be the right height for the pipe that it is coming in at. Otherwise we just adjust it, obviously take the bricks out, lower it, or raise it up with some rubber feet. So here we go, let's put them in. It's very close. I think probably 5 mil will do. So I'll find something small enough to fit under there and hopefully some rubber feet which will stop it vibrating. This is the old pipe that we've got that we cut previously. I'm just going to put it back on so we've got a visual of what we're going to do next. This goes into the pressure line, into the sand filter. That. We're going to put this union on here, just dry fitting everything at the moment, making sure that we get an idea what we're doing. And then again at the bottom on the suction line. Okay, so I've got that nice and level. Found some little rubber stops that I've used. It's nice, perfect there, so that'll fit. So all we need to do now is cut a pipe that length and a little pipe for that there, and then we can glue it all together. So we're doing the fine little measurements to cut the small pieces. I've cut this one already and I'll show you what I did, how I came to the measurements. In the beginning we showed you the small void that we have, which is inside the unions. So there's a 20 mil lip in the union that the pipe sits up against. So that 20 mil gap that we have over there, we get from the stop inside the coupling. We take 20 mils off, and that's the measurement we need for this piece of pipe. And you'll see once I put this in, we'll have a 20 mil gap once it's in place, and that will allow for the union to go in. Right, back at the table, last bit of the job to do is to glue all the pipes. We've dry fit everything, we've tested it twice. Make sure you do that, test it twice, dry fit it all, have it all ready, and you know it's right before you have to recut, I guess. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our glues. We're going to prime the pipes first. PVC needs to be primed for it to attach properly. So this is the little primer bottle. You rub it on first, give it a few minutes or seconds, and it softens up the PVC before you glue it. Do both sides of the pipe first, pipe and the join, then push it together and let it sit. Don't play with it too much and it'll be good. First up is the pressure pipe on the release side of the pump. First side. Don't need a lot of this stuff. As long as it coats it nicely. Don't get it everywhere either. It's not good for your hands. With the glue, don't be shy, don't fill it up. It will squirt out everywhere. Give it enough for the whole fitting. goes off pretty quick, so and just check inside, make sure you've pushed it all the way, and you can let that sit. Okay, that's one. Do them all. Okay, that's it. And the last one we'll do, obviously on the inlet, the suction line of the pool house. We go do that now. Okay, last bit of the puzzle, put it all together. This is the pressure line. Feed out from the pump. Put this on the bottom. And this is the last join that we're going to need. This on there will then finish it up. So we'll just glue this one in now. Some primer first. PVC cement. Make sure you get all the way around. Close your jars because I've kicked them over thousands of times. All right. That looks good. All right, nice and tight. That should do a whole seal, and we'll give it a few hours for the glue to dry before we turn on the pump and test for leaks. Been a couple of hours, the glue's definitely dry by now. We can start it off, fill up the pump, prime it obviously, test there's no leaks. Plug in the pump again, so we'll go back to the chlorinator, make sure the pump is plugged in. If you don't have a chlorinator, straight into your timer or wall plug. Set up your filter back to normal filtration mode. That'll allow the water through again. Before you turn it on, obviously we've got to prime the pump, and to do priming we just have to fill the pump up till its optimal level, and that's pretty much at your pipe, just your entering pipe height. So I've just got a bucket of water. Okay, it will discharge down to where it needs to be. Close the lid, make sure there's no obstruction. All right, ready to start. The pump will suck air in initially. Keep an eye on it, make sure it's not running for ages with no water. So we'll go on, turn the pump on. And as the water comes in, you'll see it flowing through the filter basket lid. Alright guys, that's a wrap. It's all up and done and running. Pool and background's jumping away. Preepi's running, so it's looking good. Initial thoughts, wasn't that hard, wasn't anything that we stumbled upon that we couldn't do. It's the hardest thing was raising and finding a few pieces of rubber for the bottom of the pump. Otherwise, pretty clean, easy cut and fit, as long as you can measure and grab some tools. I think you'll be all right. The pump's running really well. It's nice and quiet, 10 times quieter than my last one, hence it was on the way out. Other than that, all good guys. Give it a go. It's Poolset, the pump P150, obviously the right size pump for your pool. Hit them up. Cheers guys.